quick announcement for everybody. My name is Jonathan Peschke. Myself and Fred Mertens run Mass Training, Martial Arts Success Systems, and he and I have been working very closely together for the last 10 years now. We've made some pretty radical changes in the way we do business to help more people learn through martial arts and improve themselves physically, mentally, and all the good stuff that we do. And it's been fantastic. And also on this call is my son, Roman Peschke. He does all the behind the scenes stuff. And we're here to help. Some of you guys are currently clients. Sifu Cup. Sifu Cup was an original client of Mass Training many moons ago and has done extremely well over the years and is back in action. And there's a lot of clients we work with one-on-one. We do this Q&A call each week. We do, we have a big event coming up in Jacksonville, Florida, November 14, 15, and 16. It's a 3-day training thing at Grandmaster Bill Clark's training facility. If you guys have never been there, I highly recommend you go. It's like Mecca for any martial artist. This place is wild. 22,000 square feet. He's got a library. He's got a museum. He's got a training facility. He's got a conference room. There's office. I mean, this place will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. So that's going to be November 14, 15, and 16 in Jacksonville, Florida. But in the meantime, let's get down to business. We're here to help. This is a Q&A call. So ask us anything. For you guys that were on the call originally, Mr. Weber and I go back, gosh, 20, maybe 30 years. I don't even know. It's been 40.
I think over 30 years, sir.
Maybe probably him and my wife actually grew up together.
I was a black belt and she was a yellow belt.
Oh my Lord.
That's how far back I go.
Good grief. That's crazy. Crazy, man.
I'll find the picture and shoot you an email and send it to her and be like, hey, you remember these days?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she thinks very highly of you, sir. She definitely
so do I.
That's
so do I.
great.
You guys are great.
All right. So heck, Mr. Brown, how are things going there in San Francisco, sir? How can we help?
Well, we're doing okay. Still not getting the volume that I'm looking for.
Okay.
But I did sell 4 trials and 3 of them showed, 2 of them purchased monthlies. So I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
So I'm just chipping away at it, keeping the faith, running the ads. The ads are still only running me $5.64 a day. So
now that's an odd number. How'd you get $5.64?
That's what Facebook figured it out for me for the Facebook ads.
Interesting. Now, is that your cost per lead or
Cost
is that
per
your
lead.
budget per day?
No, cost per lead.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we're talking about 2 different things. Let's back up one step. What is your budget per day?
20 bucks.
20. Okay. So your budget is 20 bucks a day,
Yep.
which is obviously $600 a month or $620 depending on the month.
A month.
And your cost per lead is how much?
$5.64.
That's
I am
good.
so jealous. That's
really good.
I mean, it's rocking because I see a lot of hits on the ad itself.
Yes.
But it's so I keep it fresh. I keep refreshing it, and
that's the key.
I added some more video.
Okay, so now let's run through the numbers because you have our daily report that we use.
Yep.
How many leads are you at for the month?
For last month or for this?
No, let's talk about right now. I know it's only
October.
the 4th. There's not a ton, but just this would serve as a good example.
Okay, so for October, our numbers. Hang on, let me pull my sheet.
Okay, great. And gentlemen that are on the call here, I don't think there's any ladies on at the moment, but if there are, great. The daily report, tracking the numbers, is really keeping your finger on the pulse of the health of your academy. The health is not measured. Well, it's in the health of your system. It's like going to the doctor. They're going to take your pulse, check your blood pressure, put you on the scale, look down your throat, check your ears. They're going to do all this stuff before they really talk about why you're there, because this leads them into the general well-being, because there's certain percentages that we are looking for in order to make this business grow. So, because and we'll see. I have a hunch about something here for Mr. Brown, and I want to see. Well, let's find out if it holds true. So, leads for the month.
Stand by. Last 30 days. All right.
Let me take okay. Well, yeah, you should be able to do from the month to now.
Yep.
And if you guys are, let me drop this daily report into the chat while we're here too. Or Roman, do you have that? Can you drop that in there for me? Or do you need me to pull, or should I do it?
I need you to pull it up. I don't have it on hand.
Okay. All right. Here, I got it pretty handy. Let's find it right now. Okay, it's on here. It's called a in-house daily tracking. If you guys don't have this already, I just dropped it in the chat. Download that, print it out, and fill it out every day, even if it's all zeros, because people get so. I was on a call early this morning with we had like 5 operators from out in Arkansas, and it's a group of schools out there. And it's so funny because one of the people on the call was one lady. She got so nervous about reporting the numbers, and I quit taking it personally. These are just statistics, and what we're looking for is percentages. Don't, because sometimes people, well, they want to explain why. Like, I got 8 leads, I got 2 appointments, but the reason why, I don't want to hear the reason why. It doesn't matter. Let's just track the numbers, because on the one hand, we have the martial art that we love. And heck, just from the 4 faces on this call, there's 4 different styles being taught. I don't care what you teach, whatever you teach, I'm sure you're good at it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this call. That's great. I think every style out there is fantastic, and they all have something amazingly positive to offer. But the numbers remain the same regardless. It's not about, if we look at our triangle model, there's what you do on the floor, and then there's operations and procedures, and then there's marketing and sales. So it doesn't matter if you teach Krav or Kung Fu or Jiu-Jitsu or Taekwondo or Karate or yoga, it all works the same. We all have the ambition of helping people improve their lives through what we have to offer. Let's make sure that in addition to being good on the training floor, we're equally good off the training floor. All right, we ready, sir?
Yes, sir, we are.
Okay,
So,
leads come on.
From the month of October up until yesterday, 217 leads.
Whoa. Okay, you're counting from October. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
October 1 up
Okay,
until
that's fine.
yesterday.
All right, 217 leads. That is magnificent.
Correct.
All right, how many appointments were set?
24 appointments were set.
Okay, and how many trials were sold?
24.
Okay, and how many appointments showed?
18.
And do we know what happened to the other 6?
Followed up with them, and they basically ghosted. No further. They're not returning emails, text messages, or phone calls.
Even after they paid?
Yep.
Even after?
Yep.
That's
I'm staying on top of them.
Okay. All right. Let's keep going. 18 appointments showed how many single, how many family memberships?
3 single, 4 families purchased monthlies, and 1 family purchased a year.
Prepaid. Okay, beautiful.
For a year.
And how much was that? What was the dollar amount on that? Because I know you charge
of the one for the year, $2,178.
All right, I can get behind that. Very nice. Excellent. Now, if you look on a daily report sheet, there is a question there. How much revenue was generated from the new memberships? So that's at the point of enrollment. So you had 3 singles and 4 families, you said? So
Yes.
that's a total of 7 contracts?
Yes.
But the memberships are actually 11, right? Because the family counts as 2.
Correct.
So what money did these 11 memberships generate on day 1?
Let me add that up real quick. I just didn't
Uh-oh.
know the totals yet. 1 second.
I would assume some, if not all of these singles did first and last.
Correct.
And then the family's probably same. At least some of them might have done first only, some did first and last. And we know one of them paid the whole year.
Yep. $3,794.
$3,794 was generated at the front end point of the membership. So we had 7. Let's see.
That does not include equipment sales.
Right. No, that's separate. Good.
That's
Excellent. So good tracking. Now let's do the math here. If I've got 3794 divided by, there was 11 memberships, because the 4 families count as 2, that's 8, the 3 singles, that's 11 memberships. That means you're collecting on average $344.
90 cents. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that is just a hair lower than I would expect, but it is still solid. I'm not going to complain at all. Now let's look at why
A couple of those did get discounted because they're first responders. So
Okay.
that's why it dropped a little bit, because I do have a
Okay.
first responder discount and
Right.
law enforcement. So
And how much is that discount?
20%.
Okay. It might be larger than it needs to be, but
Okay.
that's a personal choice, and it's totally,
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you one way or the other, but I think at
No. I'm here to learn, John.
Okay. Well, I would, a 10% discount for first responders, I think shows your gratitude and appreciation, but keeps you in the house of where you need to be. That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
Now, some people feel more strongly and want to give a bigger discount, and that is certainly your prerogative. But I think a 10% savings is pretty significant on a membership, and it shows that you appreciate their service. And I think it's, and again, that's your choice to make. Now,
Okay. Thank you.
if we go back to the reason why these numbers make such a difference is if we look at, here's what I would expect. And the good news is these numbers, I mean, I got no complaints, but now if you've got 217 leads and you've been doing this longer than what you've been doing, I would expect you to have 50 appointments. Now, let me explain why. The reason is the metric that we're looking at is a 25% conversion. People, oh, that's so low, that's so low. Well, really, it's not, because Facebook leads, we can pretty much count on half of them are junk. You'll never get a hold of them no matter how hard you try, but we keep trying anyway. So that means 108 of them are just the cost of doing business. The other 108 of them, I should be able to get a hold of at some point. And if I'm really got the phone dialogue dialed in tight, I should be able to convert half. So if I get half of the half, I'm sitting at 25%. So the metric that we are always shooting for is at a minimum 25%. And on 200 leads, that'd be 50. Okay. So now out of the 24 appointments that were set, if we're following the phone dialogue and we're using it religiously, I would expect, let me see, 12, 24, I would figure you'd probably have at least 30 trials sold. So what that tells me is I'll bet lunch that we're not every single phone call going, okay, now that we have your first lesson scheduled, ma'am, let me ask, I got to ask you a question. Who should we add to the trial? Like a little brother, older sister, maybe dad. Heck, mom, what about you? Who should we add to this trial? Am I right or am I losing lunch?
Actually, you're losing lunch half the time, because when I do the call.
Oh, wait, whoa. Okay, I got to interrupt you. That means I'm right. Because
you are right, because I just hired a new front girl and I'm still training her. When I do it, I absolutely upsell.
And I appreciate your attitude, because, we're not here to be perfect. We're not here to be offended if we're wrong. We're here to learn and grow and just get better at what we do, doggone it.
Absolutely.
And my statement was, I'll bet you lunch that we're not doing it 100% of the time.
No, we are not.
So I win. Okay, good. The good news is you don't owe me lunch.
Careful with that. No, I owe you lunch. Next time I see you in person.
I said I would bet lunch. I bet lunch. So my point is, though, if we commit to doing that on every single call, the statistics have proven that you will typically sell 40 to 50% more trials than appointments set. Now, here's why it's so important. Do I need the extra $20? Well, it helps pay for the ads. But what it really does is it tees up the family membership. Now, the good news is, heck, more than half of your memberships you sold were for families. Mm-hmm. So that's fantastic. What if we could get an even higher percentage? How much? See, the shortcut, and I know we've gone into this deeper in other calls, but the shortcut to doubling your membership is get the parents off their butts.
Yeah.
Get them on the mat.
Yep.
Get them on the mat. If you have 100 students, that means you have 100 parents that could potentially be students if you just massage the way you're delivering the lesson. The shortcut is, you've got a captive audience. The kids aren't driving themselves. Right. Why aren't we taking that shortcut of getting families on the mat together? Everyone says, oh, we're a family academy. You can bring your 3-year-old at 3 o'clock and your 8-year-old at 4 o'clock, and you can bring your teenager at 5 o'clock, and mom, you can come back and train at 6 o'clock.
Train them all at 6 o'clock.
It's never going to work that way.
Yeah,
it will never. When I first started my training, there was just the class.
Yep.
It was
and with your help, that's exactly what I've done. I
Yeah.
have changed my schedule up to where I only have that one offering. And I have people tell me all the time, well, what about, do you do anything during the day? I'm like, not at this time. Our classes are 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. We have a Saturday class, all women's class at 10, and then we have a 12 o'clock all levels class. Which one would you like
And
to
when we
attend?
first started working together, so right now you're down to 7 classes a week, 8?
7, 8, 9, 9 classes a week.
When we first spoke, how many classes a week did you have?
A week, over what did we figure out? Over 60 were offered, including day classes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So from
So I was
6
sitting here
down to
being
9
pissed
is
off 90% of the time.
what a significant improvement. And look at this, man. You're having fun. You know, are we where we want to be yet? No. But
No.
if things improve drastically, heck yeah.
Absolutely, they have.
That's fantastic. That was good. You're on your
Monetizing, not yet, but that's coming.
Yes, sir. That's fantastic. Good. Congratulations. All right. Well, so the things I would look at straight away is number one, if we're not getting at least 25 appointments to lead ratio, the first thing we look at is, are we getting to them fast enough?
Fast enough.
That's always the first, and usually the answer is no. It's like, well, I usually call them within a couple hours. That's too long. Now, I understand if they come in Sunday night at 9 o'clock, I'm not reaching out to them until Monday morning. But I have it set up where they'll get a text at least. They'll say, hey, thanks for opting in. I appreciate, thanks for opting in. I just got your information. We're so excited to help you begin your martial art training. We'll be reaching out Monday morning at 10 a.m. to give you all the details. All the best. I mean, they got to get some reward for doing what we asked them to do. We're spending a lot of money to get in front of people saying, hey, give us your info, give us your info. Someone gives it to us and then we ignore them. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
No wonder they don't
Waste
know.
of money.
People go, oh, all my leads are bad. No, they're not. You're just bad at nurturing them. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying in general. That's
No, in general, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. People, oh, I get nothing but bad leads. No, you just suck at dealing with leads. Let's get better at that. Watch what happens. Yeah. And people think, see, because when I started, I've said this before, when I started, a buddy of mine and I cracked open the yellow pages. I mean, everything was this thick and it had all the business in there in alphabetical order. We went to martial arts and there was half-page ads in there. Like, ooh, let's check all these guys out. We were committed before we even started. But that's not Facebook. Facebook is, what are my friends doing? What gossip is there? Oh, that's interesting. Click. What are my friends doing? What's the gossip? And they move on. We've got to nurture that lead into becoming a martial artist. They haven't made a decision at all. All we did was simply distract them for a hot second. And we think they're committed? Come on. So we have to really change the way to get the result we want. We have to approach it very differently than we did 30 years ago. Even 10 years ago, to be honest. Okay, so the metric is 25 to, so if we are getting to them lightning fast and we're still not hitting 25%, then it's just a matter of, well, let's review the phone dialogue. Let's review the phone dialogue. Something's amiss. Now, if we're not getting if we're not getting over 100% trials sold to appointment set, that just means we're leaving out that piece of dialogue. If you say it every single time, some of them say yes, period. Especially since you're enrolling some families. Oh, well, yeah, I do have another kid. Great. Let's bring them too. All right. So how do we want to take care of this trial tuition? Do you want to do credit, debit, which is best? It's crazy. Everyone on the call here is a lifelong martial artist, I'm guessing, which means you've put in countless hours, tens of thousands of hours of training on how to be really good on the floor. And yet, the group I was working with earlier today, we were role-playing and practicing the phone dialogue, just one piece of the phone dialogue. I said, now tell the truth. How many of you guys just spent more time training off the mat on your business today than you have in the last 6 months combined? Every hand went up. I said, well, I appreciate your honesty, guys. But this is how you become a successful operator. It's not just what we do on the floor. The sad news is you could be amazing on the floor and still be broke. And the even sadder news is you could be mediocre on the floor and get rich.
This
How
is
crazy
true.
is that? It's sad. I wish in my heart that it was a direct correlation to how good you are on the floor means how good you are with how much money you make. It's not true. Get it out of your head. How good we are on the floor is for our people and my personal pride and what I want to accomplish. How good we are at the business is determined by how good we get at running a business. Simple as that. And they are two separate things. And if we get really good at running a business, you get to do on the floor what you love forever. And hopefully help other people have a career. I mean, that's my ambition. You know, I made a lot of money as a solo operator, but then I thought, ooh, I've got some senior ranks that I really want to help them embrace this lifestyle and provide for their families too. And so then, you know, I thought, okay, well, if I can help them win, that helps me win a little bit more too. Let's do that. And that's actually how I ended up being on this call with you guys. You know, I think it's criminal how many poor examples there are of being a successful martial artist. They're few and far between. Most martial artists have that starving artist mentality of driving some beat up, broke down, faded out car. And yet we want other people to follow in our footsteps. How many young men and women do you know that aspire to be broke? I don't know any. So if you want someone to have a successful martial arts career, let's show them you can have a successful martial arts career. Because to be honest, if my instructor hadn't pulled me aside many years ago and said, hey, you might be pretty good at this, and if you do it right, you can make a lot of money. If there wasn't the money component, this would never have been my career because I never had aspirations of being broke. I loved martial arts, but I knew that that was something I did for me, and I would get a job to make real money. He's the one that made me shift my thinking and realizing it can be the one and the same. I thought, ooh, okay, maybe I better look at this a little more closely. And I thought, okay, well, I'll commit the next few years. Let's see how this works out. That was 33 years ago. Been a little while. So, you know, I think I got to go back to it. We spend tens of thousands of hours honing our skills on the mat, but we don't match that with honing our skills off the mat. That's the missing link. It's not about getting another rank, another certificate, another level, another course, another class, another program, another this. None of that's going to make you more money. Getting better off the mat and the skills it takes for that, that's what changes your income. And if I get good at that, I get to do what I love forever and impact more people's lives. So excellent. Well, so Master Brown, I appreciate you sharing. Just to recap on that, I think the lead flow is fantastic. Now, okay, let me say one more thing on this. If your percentages were all on point, I would say open the spigot. Spend more money. But until the percentages are cleaned up, don't do it. Okay, sir? So, and to run through, you know, I dropped that daily report into the chat for everybody. It goes.
I was very seriously thinking about doubling it for the holidays, but since your advice, I'm probably going to.
Well, Roman, all right. So, Roman, what's your thought on that? Well, before you even answer that, let me go back to what I was going to say. Typically, I don't encourage spending more money if we have holes to fill, because the truth is, if you get better at the lead response and the lead nurture portion, you would actually generate twice as much from what you're already spending.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
If I had 200 leads, I would expect 50 appointments. If I got 50 appointments, I would expect 65, 70 trials sold. If I had 50 appointments show up, I know for a fact, even if you're just following the dialogue and not even that good at it yet, you're going to enroll at least 25 people. And let's do the math. If you had 25 people, what do we say your current is 377 times 25? That's almost $10,000 without spending another dime on Facebook.
Yep.
Now, if all the percentages are wound tight and you're going from leads to 25% to 150% to 50% go rate, if all those percentages are wound tight, then let's just open the spigot and get more leads. Yes. but you're getting more leads than most, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Now, in terms of the holidays kind of throw us a little monkey wrench in things. And I know that we're going to definitely increase our ad spend a little bit through the first half of December, and then we'll probably pull it back the second half of December because everyone's, loses focus on Christmas. So I want to take those ad dollars and spend them earlier to try to get ahead of it. But Roman, any thought on that for Mr. Brown?
Yeah, I'd say until you're hitting like the percentages for each step of the way, you shouldn't add any more ad spend. So just be like trying to fill up a leaky bucket.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Roman, thank you.
If you get the percentages in place before the holiday season comes around, crank it up. See if you can keep those percentages intact. But if they start to slip, then it's time to dial it back down and get those nailed.
Because again, 200 leads in 30 days. I'm jealous. Leads for $5.64. I'm going to say it again. I'm jealous. That's remarkable. So the lead flow is dynamite, and you're not costing you very much money at all. Your return on investment is there because you spent $600 on Facebook. That paid you $3,794.
Yep.
The ROI is magnificent. That's great. Now, the next step would be, and maybe we can talk about this next week. The next step would be, now, are we creating these memorable moments so we can upgrade them in the first 30 days? That's where the real money kicks in. I got to get them on a path to black belt, preferably before their first installment is due.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Excellent. So let's move forward here. I know there was a question. Let's see. Master Weber, it looks like you said that you did not get that. Let me redrop it right now. 1 second. Oh. Chat. Okay. Oh, good. All right. So number one, got your cell there. I'll give you a call. Number two, let me try and redrop it right now anyway, just to see. And here we go. Fingers crossed. Bloop. And let me know if you got it now. And while you're checking that, let me go, because I know we had a question also from Master Jones. Master Jones, are you there?
I am here.
All right. How's your guy doing? Well, I'm drawing a blank on his name now. I apologize.
Michael.
Michael, how's he doing?
Yeah, Master B. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're making mind shifts. We're working with our employees, and we're getting there.
When you're ready, we'll shortcut that and put some kerosene on that fire and make it.
Yeah, we are.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just said we are trying to. And it's kind of silly, but we're trying to. And this is going to sound horrible coming out loud. We're trying to get our mind around family memberships.
And where's the struggle?
Exactly. We say the same thing, but then it's not something we're used to. We're so darn programmed for 30 years keeping the adults separate with the kids that it's just it's taken a shift. But we're I give my guys and myself time. It's about. The other day, my guy said, yeah, I was in class. I looked over there and I saw like 25 parents sitting there. I looked at my class and I saw like 20 students. I looked over at the parents. There were more parents than students. I'm thinking, if I could get these guys together. So what the real problem there isn't accepting that. It's a curriculum question. We've got to figure out how to get them from white belt to black belt. And with our curriculum is for that kind of thing is not. It's not suited for that. So we got to get together and sit down and figure out what we got to take out and what we have to deal with. So we're not resisting it. We're just, remember rotating curriculum?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I was one of the early adopters of that.
Yeah, I was too, but I never did it. I just handed it to one of my guys and said, do this. And I still can't get my mind around it.
When I first started teaching, we had 10 belt ranks. And each belt rank had its own form, its own self-defense combinations, own sparring. So you're effectively teaching 30 things in one class.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
Crazy.
So, yeah, it should be. But my question was, when you guys present the prices,
yes,
Do you use a price sheet? Do you use,
Yes.
I've done, yeah, is it written out on a piece of paper and you just turn it around, or
Printed.
the yellow pad and you write it out?
No. Well, here's what we currently do. We have our basic training program, takes you through all your beginner level belts. It's going to take you to the first level green belt, where you become it's going to take you up to the intermediate level. And here's the features. Boom, 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 boom. Here's the benefits, right? The features are what you get to do. The benefits are what you get to become. That's the real value. And then we turn it over. And again, it's laminated, so they know they can't take it with them, because we're going to have a discussion and arrive at a decision. But on the back side, it has the initial investment and the monthly tuition. Now, with that, we can get creative. Here's the best part, guys. You're the bank. It's not one way or the highway. So what we do is we present the family membership. And if they can't do it for any reason whatsoever, in fact, if they don't say we're in, we immediately ask the next question is, well, are we considering this for the family or just for Timmy? Oh, it'll probably just be for Timmy. Then we go down that fallback series. If it is for the family, we stay there and we go down through those fallbacks. But we're going to have a discussion about it. It's not, here's the price, pay me. No, we're having a conversation to help this family get what they want. So, for example, we have made it a habit that we always present the family membership. Normally, to get started in our membership, it's X, but since we now know we don't need to wait 2 weeks, you guys qualify, you're in. We're going to give you the full value of that 2-week trial, saving you $249. And as a matter of fact, I'm so confident this is the best choice for your family, I'll match it. So we're going to save your family $498 by just getting started today. That means that initial investment, it's only going to be $190 for the whole family. And I keep saying the whole family because if you're not going to enroll the family, go ahead and interrupt me. That's cool. Oh, no, it's just going to be for the kid. Oh, well, then let's change gears. It's like driving a manual transmission. You get to a hill, you might need to downshift. That's cool. Well, no, it's just going to be for the kid. Oh, well, in that case, it's even simpler. That initial investment, it's only $95. You can do that, right? And they go, well, yeah, I could do that. Okay, great. And now I'm assuming we already talked about the tuition for the family. We present it in 6 installments of $498 for the entire family. Now, what does that equate to? Most of us think about, here's a big hurdle everyone needs to get over, and that is stop selling your time for money. I'll give you 30 days. You give me $200. It's ridiculous. Stop trading your time for money. You are not a servant. You're not a personal trainer. You want to be a mentor in their life. You want to be an instructor for their future. You want to help this child grow physically and mentally and improve in every way. If that's not what you want to do, well, then keep doing what you're doing. That's cool. But if you want to have a bigger impact on people, quit selling your time. You will never make the kind of money that you need to make, because what I'm selling is access to a community of like-minded people that are here to grow and develop and help each other every step of the way. I'm selling access to what we've built. I'm not selling me. I'm not selling a piece of my soul. I'm giving you access to this. Think about it like country club. They might have golf, they might have tennis, they might have whatever. You're not buying tennis lessons. You can do that anywhere. You can do that through Facebook. What's the difference? You're buying access to be a part of a different type of community that probably thinks differently, that certainly acts differently, that operates a little differently. You know, you can go play golf at the Muni course relatively cheap, but there's people that pay a couple grand a month to belong to a country club. Why? It's still golf, but it's at a different level. It's a different environment. It's surrounding yourself with a different type of person. That's where we got to go in terms of how we think about what we do. Not to be stuck up or arrogant, but to realize you is it. You change lives. You're not to be treated like some little park and rec teenager that's entertaining your kid for an hour while you go scroll your phone or run to the grocery store. It's got to be bigger than that. So to get back on track, we present the membership in 6 installments of $498 for the whole family. And the beautiful part about that is once you complete those 6 installments, there's no more tuition due on this program.
So they're very aware of the year. They're not asking you like,
Again, it's not a year. I'm
I
not
know.
selling time.
But are they aware of what because I know you're not selling time, but they're going to be looking at that thinking 6 months because you just said in 6 payments.
Well, no, remember there's features and benefits. So this membership is going to take you through all of the beginner belts. We call it basic training.
Okay.
This membership is going to take you to our beginner level green belt. For us, that's a green belt with a white stripe on it. This is all of your basic training, all of your beginner curriculum is covered. Now, however long it takes, it takes. Now, I know it takes anywhere from 10 to 14 months, depending on how fast the class. But they know it's to complete a program. Time is irrelevant. So this program is going to take you through all of our beginner curriculum, and it's going to take you all the way up to our beginner level green belt. It's a green belt with a white stripe. That's where the intermediate training begins. Now, the great thing about this program is it doesn't matter if it takes you 10, 12, 14 months, however long it takes. The program is outcome based. Now, we've priced the tuition. We have priced the tuition based on 12 installments of $249 a month. Right? But that's not the conversation. The conversation is the program. Now, to pay for this membership, the tuition for this membership, well, we break it into 6 installments. In other words, you don't have to do it all at once. Because see, the only person that thinks about 12 payments is us.
Right. I'm just wondering.
we gotta quit screwing ourselves up. So now for the tuition for this membership, we break it into 6 installments of $498. And once those tuition installments are done, there's no more tuition until the goal is reached. Now, we actually just did one on Saturday, and the mom goes, "Oh, so you mean like when he does soccer, if he can't come 2 times a week, it's okay?" Yes, ma'am, that's exactly right. Now, most families find our schedule convenient enough where they can still come twice a week, but the truth is, it doesn't matter.
So what do they ever ask you? How long is this membership?
Yeah, the membership is until they get to green belt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When they ask you that, that's your answer. As long as it takes you to get you to green belt.
That's correct. Now, I know if a person comes 2 days a week, it's going to take them 10 months.
Yeah.
If a person comes 1.7 days a week, which is the average, it's going to take them 12 months. If the person only comes less than that, it might take them as many as 14 months, but that's extremely rare. But here's the kicker. My goal is to get them started because in 30 days, I'm going to get them on a path to black belt training. So it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But the better I get them
outcome-based membership.
Outcome-based membership. The better I get them started, in other words, the more they pay on this engagement, the easier it is to upgrade them. So I'm going to invite them to do the first installment of 6. So yeah, let me go through it again. So the tuition for this membership, we break it into 6 installments of $498. And the beautiful part about this is that once those installments are completed, there's no more tuition until the goal is reached. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Ooh, well, how long does it normally take? 10 to 12 months, we'll see. But every person progresses at their own pace. We actually mean it. And we're not going to let you get there faster or slower based on whether or not you memorize left and right. You actually got to take the lessons. You got to complete the classes. We haven't had a student promote to black belt without taking at least 300 lessons in a decade. I don't care how good you are at memorizing a pattern. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the hours trained. So back to this. So they say, well, no, it's just going to be for the, I got to think about it. Well, are we considering it for the family or just for Timmy? Oh, we'll probably just have to do it for the kid. Okay, no problem. In that case, it's just half. That initial investment's only $95. And for the monthly tuition, also half. Hold on, guys. This is the best part. Instead of 6 installments, there's just 3. That takes care of the whole tuition. Now, I hope some of you just went, wait, what? 20% of our members go, okay, why would they do 3 payments of $500? I'm sorry, 498. No, that was for a single. My bad. My bad. Hold on. Let me back up. I was like, wait a minute, that's not even enough to get in a shock. Membership. I jacked myself up. I was like a comedian.
I'm gonna say that sounds
punchline.
cheap.
Like a comedian on stage, and I told you the punchline before I finished the joke. Doggone it.
Cheap, cheap.
All right. All right. So for a single is $249. Traditionally, the way you guys are thinking about this, you got 12 payments of $249. That would be 6 installments of $498. That's for a single. But a family is times 2. So times 2 would be 12 payments of $498 for a family, 12 payments of $498. But if we're asking for 6 installments, what's that number going to be? Anyone that quick with me? I'll tell you, $996. $996. So Mrs. Smith, for your whole family to train, that initial investment instead of $690, only $190, because we're saving this money because you qualified to join today. There's a whole pitch for that. However, since we now know we don't need to wait 2 weeks, we're going to discount it, blah, 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 190. And then for the monthly tuition, we have 6 installments of $996, and that's for the whole family to complete this program. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Once those 6 installments are done, you have no more tuition due. Let's get started. Okay. If they go, well, I got to think about it. Well, are we considering it for the family or just for the kid? Well, probably just be for the kid. Oh, well, in that case, just half price. That initial investment instead of 190 is only $95. You can do that, right? Well, yeah, that sounds good. Okay. And then for the tuition, instead of 6 installments of $996, it's just 3. And that takes care of the whole tuition all the way through to Greenbelt. Let's get started. If she goes, oh, that's a lot of money. Well, don't worry. Let's break the money in half then. And let's make it 6 installments of $498. I'll do that for you. Oh, but that's still $500 a month. I don't know if I can do that. Well, Mrs. Smith, I don't ever want to let the money get in the way of what matters most. And that's helping families like yours. Your kid did great. We talked about the confidence you want to see. We saw a glimpse of it right there in our intro. Your kid's going to do amazing. This will be the best decision you ever made. So let me help. Let's go and take the tuition. We'll just break it into 12 installments of $249. Would that work for your family? Well, yeah, I could do that. Perfect. Then we'll do that. Help people get what they want, but do not hesitate for ask for more than what they thought you were going to ask for. Because the truth is, they don't know what you're going to ask for. They have no clue. We get clogged up in our own brain thinking they know that we want 12 payments. They don't know squat. They only know what you present to them. So if you want to collect more money, now I'm not charging them more money. The overall tuition is the same no matter how we cut the pie. But I can never collect more than what I ask for, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, Master Weber, you say you've been doing this for 30 some odd years. When's the last time a person took class and said, doggone it, that class was so good, I need to give you more money?
Never.
There you go. There you go. It doesn't happen. But if I say, hey, I'd like you to do this, they either say yes or no. And if they don't say yes, we just fall back. Well, let me think about it. I'll let you know on Friday. Oh, no, skip that. Let's just make it easier. Let's go and do 12 installments. Let's get started right now. You know, my goal is to help you get started because really, guys, my goal is to help you get on a path to black belt. And this is just simply a step in the process. So I'll get you started however we need to get you started. It makes no difference to me. But I know the more you pay in advance, the more firmly committed you will be. And, you know, the more they pay, the longer they stay. Write that down. Tattoo it on the inside of your forearm. I mean, it's just the truth. The more they pay, the longer they stay. Well, I don't want to be about the money. Well, congratulations, you're not. How's that working out? You say, oh, well, I don't want to charge. Well, then go teach at the park for free. There's nothing wrong with that. If you are so financially sound that money doesn't even matter to you, give it away. I'm cool with that. Do it for free. But if you want to build a career, get good at doing that. Because I tell you, there's nothing more valuable than what we do. And I believe that. And I was telling someone recently, I had a mom a couple of years ago, her kid, James, had been with me for 3 months. Apparently, James was a crack baby, and he was like 10 years old, and he'd had a lot of issues growing up, and mom had straightened out her life, and I was trying to help her kid. she had her kid in therapy for the last 3 years, and she came in. She's like, Master Pesky, I got to tell you something. I said, what's that? And she goes, I took James to his therapist. You know, he's been going to therapy for 3 years now. I said, oh, I didn't know that. She goes, yeah. And his therapist goes, you know, ma'am, I don't know what y'all are doing different, but I've seen more improvement in your son in the last 3 months than I've seen in the last 3 years. What are you doing different? And she goes, and I said, I don't know. And I sat there and I thought, what's different? What's there? She goes, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. 3 months ago is when we started him in Taekwondo. I'm sure you guys have heard similar stories over the years. What we do is extremely impactful if you care about your people, and yet we're scared to death. You know, I guarantee you that therapist is charging probably $350 an hour.
At least.
Thank you. Right? And we're having a bigger impact, and yet we're scared to ask for any money at all. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. If you want to go back to the old days, to learn martial arts, you had to first be an indentured servant. Come clean my house and take care of my garden for a couple of years, and then I will teach you the ready position. Well, you don't have to be a slave to me, but you do have to make a sacrifice. And in modern day and age, what is it? It's financial.
Really.
I want this to be the most expensive thing that they do for their family, because I want them to hold it in that high of a regard. Think about that. And that's really a big part of what we help people do, like Master Jones was leading into. You got to think differently. You know, Mr. Mertens has shared that story about when he hired this life coach a million years ago. She drove him around to this rich neighborhood, and he saw these big giant mansions. And he's like, man, what do these people do? And she goes, oh, wrong question. He's like, what do you mean? She goes, you shouldn't be asking, what do they do? You should be asking, how do they think? That's big, guys. It's big. We sell ourselves so short in this industry. And I really think it's because the bulk of us came from broke backgrounds. It's hard to charge for something. It's hard to charge what we didn't actually pay. And sometimes we even come from broken backgrounds where we had not only nothing, but we're on a path to destruction, and martial arts maybe saved your life. And we forget that people pay, you know, go to today's day and age, like that lady I just shared, she's paying $349 an hour to this kid's therapist. And we had a bigger impact, but we're afraid to charge $200 a month. Come on. Now, what does that mean? It means maybe we're not good enough we're not as good off the mat as we are on the mat. And what I mean by that is, are we that good at conveying the value of what it is we have to offer, so that a person, I think one of the most powerful things that we can learn to do is how to create an alignment with someone we just met where they can see through our eyes. And that comes down to conversation and communication skills. If I can meet this person who thinks they're coming in for an activity, mom thinks I'm going to put my kid in a fun activity, it'll be cute. And through our phone dialogue, she realizes, oh, maybe it's a little different than I thought. And then they come in, take a tour of the academy, do their orientation, and they realize, oh my goodness, this is way more than I thought. How did we get so lucky? We need this. That's on us. And that's on our ability to convey information and to get people to think differently through our ability to communicate the real value of what martial arts has to offer. So on that note, I think we're about out of time. Let's do a quick round robin. Seafood Cup, let's start with you. What's the biggest takeaway for today, sir?
Well, not today, but through mass training is the collecting the first and last month, the initial installment first and last month.
Yes, sir.
I think it gives them a better idea that this is a package. It has a beginning and an end. The end for our basic program is blue belt, and then upgrading the student and to a different outcome, which is black belt, and then crediting the amount they've already paid into that black belt program.
Right. Yes,
and
sir.
It's like they never lose money, and they're just investing into a higher level. And that a long time ago just changed my school completely.
Love it.
Yeah.
And what he's referring to is you have a curriculum from white belt to black belt, and it should, I'll do a real rudimentary sketch here. kind of like this.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
A box.
There we go. This is our program. This is the basic training portion. But by upgrading, you get to do more, goes deeper, longer, get to black belt. And to go to leadership, well, you might get to do a little bit more, and it takes you even further in this journey. So by enrolling in basic today, whether you're doing monthly or paid in full or whatever, you're paying a portion of the overall tuition to get to black belts. We'll credit that towards you in the upgrade. And then to do leadership, it works the same again. Let's get you on leadership, maybe go to second degree. Or maybe you have an even bigger program, like our biggest program will take you to fourth degree black belt. And yeah, everything you've paid up to this point will be credited towards that because there is a tuition to go from white belt to fourth degree. And since you've paid this much so far, now we just have to take care of the balance. No big deal. Excellent. Thank you. What do you think, Master Brown? What are we taking away today, sir?
A lot of great advice, and I just need to hone in my telephone dialogue where it's 100% online or on board, and there's no fluctuation with that. And I'm going to take a look at my discount process. So.
Yes, sir. Okay, great. I do think 20%, I think giving them a 20% discount to prepay the whole thing is the right number because most people's credit card interest is just under 20%. So it makes sense that even if they pay it off over time to their credit card, they still come out ahead, which is why. And the average American has access to $7,500 at any given point. I mean, that's a real statistic.
Yep.
So to prepay this membership, save 20%, and then they get to decide how they pay it back. Everybody wins.
Yep.
And people think, well, I don't want everyone to prepay. Well, I do. I just know it's not possible. I know typically 2 out of 10 will prepay the whole thing. That means the other 8 out of 10 contribute to billing. But that 2 out of 10 makes a significant difference in the bottom line. Significant difference.
For sure.
You know, people say, well, you know, yeah, but if everyone paid in full, I'd go broke. No, you'd go rich unless you spend money irresponsibly. All right. I'd always rather owe you lessons than have you owe me money because I know I'll show up and I can't always say the same for them.
Yep.
Yeah. Even when we sell our big memberships, you know, like we had one family, they prepaid a membership for just under $12,000. 6 months later, found out they're moving to Hawaii. I thought, uh-oh. And then he goes, hey, sir, you know, we know we're moving and, you know, we're going to miss you guys. And I was like, oh, and he goes, but I'm so excited because I know that we still have all of our family here. So we'll be bouncing back and forth a lot. And since we just did that charter membership, we'll always have a place to train when we're here visiting family. I said, yes, sir, you will.
Right.
Yes, you will.
Phew.
You know, so I mean, people are so afraid of doing things. You know, and if for some crazy reason I ended up having to give them that money back, well, I didn't spend it. It was in the bank. So give them the money back. I mean, it is what it is. But don't be afraid to do business. All right. Don't be afraid to be what you're worth. Master Weber, what are we taking away from today, sir? Take us home.
Well, this is my first meeting with you guys, and very, very insightful on how you guys are talking with your clients and upselling and just the basic conversations. So when I took over in end of July, I inherited a mess.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, no, sir. 85 students, 5 pay, rest cashed out.
That's horrible.
Yeah, you're laughing, sir. I'm sitting here going, oh my
That's horrible.
God.
So you took over a liability.
You have to upgrade
the
all
school
those people.
closed. It was like
Upgrade would be the
locked. I
solution.
had to find a facility. I've sunk probably 30 grand of my own money into it, and my teaching job is still paying the bills of the school right now.
What do you need? All right, I will call you later,
Yeah.
sir.
Jonathan,
That's why I'm here, and I know I'm going to learn so much from all of you gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
I'm so excited, and the fact that you're local, and I'm like, oh, thank you, God.
This guy lives like 30 minutes from me, probably. That's great. Well, yeah, and like Sifu Cup was saying, you know, the shortcut's going to be to map out what kind of goal would you like them to have, and let's upgrade everybody. Let's fix that
upgrade them
problem.
all masters.
Yep.
Yeah. Like
That's
everyone's
fine.
cashed out except for just a very few, and I've had 0 signups.
Well, we got to fix that too. In fact, Roman can hook you up with a marketing plan that works, and as attested to by Master Brown. And the other thing is, what's the other thing? The people cash out. Here's a different way to think about this too. Another mind shift. We don't cash out people. We simply cash out programs.
Right.
If we do our job right, there's always another program.
True.
And if I can credit you what you've paid so far and give you a big enough reason to do what's next, heck, half of them will upgrade again.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, we can fix that. All right. So, all right, we got to stop right there. It's great to see everybody.